Hi, I'm Jen. I'm the owner of My Brooklyn Pilates, and this video will continue the series I started on Diastasis Recti, or Recti, potato, for short known as DR. So this video will cover what DR is, common causes, how you know you might have it, and then what to do about it. So first, DR, I've frequently heard people describe it as a splitting or tearing of the abdominals. That's not exactly accurate. It may feel like that. Definitely in my experience, it felt a little bit like that. It's actually the stretching of some connective tissue called your linea alba that runs right through your navel from top to bottom, and it splits the rectus abdominis in half. There's a right side and a left side, and the linea alba goes right down the middle. So let's take it back a step. We have 3 layers of abdominals. The deepest one, closest to our organs, wraps around our body or midsection like a corset. So it runs this way. The next one, which causes twisting motion, those fibers run on diagonal, either this way or that way. And then the top layer, the rectus abdominis, runs from the top of the ribs down towards the pelvis, so from top to bottom. So if there's too much pressure applied to that top layer of abdominals, the linea alba will actually stretch. And for some people, it'll stretch, especially if you're pregnant, it'll stretch, it'll go back. It's like elastic. When you have DR, it's when the elastic has been stretched and stretched and stretched that it just won't go back. So it's stretched out elastic. So to heal, it needs some rest. You need that some abdominal rest. And you need to strengthen that corset muscle, the deepest layer of abdominals. So that's what DR is, stretched out connective tissue. It could be just at the navel, it could run below the navel, above the navel. If you do an online search for diastasis recti, you can find all sorts of images of what it looks like and what it could look like, the different types of DR. And now, how do you get it? Pregnancy is one of the most common causes. As I said before, some people get pregnant, lots of people get pregnant, and their DR closes itself. That connective tissue heals itself. And then there's people like me where I needed a little help, and so you may need some help as well. And you can also get it from other abdominal issues or disorders, other inflammation in the abdominal cavity, where that deepest abdominal layer just does not want to cinch in because maybe it causes pain. And if that's a situation for you, you may want to speak to your specialist, speak to a pelvic floor specialist, and see what can be done about it. How you can help heal your DR, even with other disorders that you may have. And another common cause is improper exercise. You can actually overwork the top layer of abdominals trying to get that flat belly and cause DR or make it worse. So women are not the only ones who get DR. Men can get it as well. Okay, so that is what it is, how you can get it. And now, how do you know you have it? What if you think maybe I have it, but I'm not really sure? So if you have a poochy belly and you just can't get rid of it, that could possibly be DR. If you lie on your back and you do a crunch and you hold that crunch and you feel across your belly from right to left and left to right and right down that linea alba, there's a channel, a canal, a big gap. That's actually how they check for DR. And so if you're like, yes, Jen, that's me, okay, then you need to go see a pelvic floor specialist. So a pelvic floor specialist is a physical therapist who has gone to more schooling and received more training for pelvic floor dysfunction. And you may be thinking, but these are my abdominals. This is not my Kegels. Well, they're closely related. And sometimes if you have DR, you may also have other pelvic floor dysfunction. And sometimes you could even there's a chance of an umbilical hernia that may come along with DR. So that's a hernia at the navel. So that definitely is something serious, something you'd want to make sure you knew about and see what your options are for dealing with that. Also, too, if your DR is severe, your pelvic floor specialist may do an internal exam to see what else is going on. Now, where to get a pelvic floor specialist? If you happen to live in the New York City, Long Island area, feel free to reach out to me. I have several to recommend, primarily in Brooklyn and on Long Island. And if you live elsewhere, I would say, check in with your GP, your family doctor, see if he or she could recommend someone. Go into the mom blogs on social media, your local mom blogs, and see who can be recommended. I'm sure you'll get a handful. See who's close by, who takes insurance, who doesn't, see what matters to you, and bedside manner. Take someone that maybe comes recommended, but just know that you're in pretty good hands no matter who you go with. So that's it. That's this video on DR, and stay tuned for the next one, which will cover the do's and don'ts of DR.